Setter Cameron Costley, while the libero is Shane Aitken. We're ready for first serve as Sakonoko goes back to serve to kick off our Friday night here at the Brenneman Center. First ball, almost an ace, saved by Irvine, set over by Jokanovic. Set outside of Roar. Roar goes cross court and grabs the sideline. Hawaii with a 1-0 lead.
Hawaii is known for their serving, famous serves. They're always going to get you in trouble with that first contact after on the serve receive. That's what happened there.
Sakonoko, the 6'5" junior outside from Paris, France, and Francois Coulomb High School. High toss on the spin serve. Hand pass by Aitken in the middle to Clark, and he hits it long over his counterpart, Travell Jordan.
Irvine has really counted on Clark hitting for a high percentage. He's leading the nation. He's now second in the nation hitting percentage, but now he's matched up with Travell Jordan, who jumps just as high as Trevor does.
2 serve to 0. Sakonoko winds up again and hits one about 20, 30 feet long. Irvine on the board at 1, looking at 2. Charlie, two of the top teams here in the Big West going at it.
Numbers 1 and number 2, both teams only have 3 losses all year.
And that brings Clark back to serve for the first time for Irvine. Hybrid, pass by Greenidge. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky for his first swing, and he bounces it down the line. Big gap down the line.
I am pretty sure that Trevor Clark should have stayed middle back, and Andon should have gone back left on that, with Tetrisky hitting out of the back row like that.
3 serve to 1, which brings Travell Jordan back to serve, the 6'10" sophomore middle from Mesa, Arizona, the transfer from Grand Canyon. Outside to Jokanovic as he tips it by the block out of the diving reach to Tetrisky.
Well, Hawaii is definitely bigger than Irvine is all the way around, including setting 6'11", pretty big for a setter. But their mobility is not quite what Irvine's is. They'll probably be using that as their advantage.
Costley winds up, serves Sakonoko outside to Roar. Roar blocked up top and out of play, though, so long distance tool on the far side.
Went high off the hands.
Darcy and Goss.
Micah Goss did not have the block, his shoulders turned in.
4-2, that brings Rosenthal back to serve for the first time for the Bows. The 6'11" setter goes over towards Jokanovic. Darcy high off the block, returns a favor on another long distance tool.
He's got a matchup because Justin Todd is a big middle too. Jumps and reaches 12-4. Both he and Travell Jordan jump and reach 12-4.
That brings Andrei Jokanovic back to serve, the 6'8" freshman from Caen, France. Top spinner picked up by Greenidge. Rosenthal back to Roar, and Roar cracks it over the block.
Over the block. That's a pretty good angle too from that side. Your off diggers have really got to be alert to dig the ball.
That brings Roar back to serve for the first time tonight. Roar winds up, goes cross court, misses just wide out of the ducking, diving, dipping, dodging, and ducking. Micah Goss.
Micah Goss got out of the way.
Makes it 4, looking at 5. Goss back to serve for UC Irvine, the 6'6" middle blocker from Santa Barbara. Going through his serving routine, goes cross court, Greenidge, perfect pass. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky, over the block, dug by Jokanovic. Costley goes high ball. Kiriakou and Goss look at each other. Rosenthal has to take it. Roar takes a rip off the block. What an option ball swing down the pipe.
Yeah, Irvine will have to be really aware of plays like that, second contact out of the back row. Hawaii likes that off volleyball plays like that.
That brings us 6'8", redshirt sophomore middle, Justin Todd back to serve from Houston, Texas.
Interesting, spent his senior year in Hawaii going to Mauna Loa High School.
And look out below, Andon Kiriakou lighting it up down the line.
They were Hawaii was so intent on getting 2 blockers up on Trevor Clark, they moved Tetrisky in to help on the quick, and there was no one up on the line for Andon to hit down the line.
That was full chess strategy between the coaching staff.
Well, as long as there's good passing on Irvine's side, they're going to be able to do that.
Outside over to Sakonoko for his first swing, and he pops it off the chest of Darcy.
That was a foot over Cameron Costley.
7 serving a 5. Tetrisky going back to serve for Hawaii. And Adrian Rohr already 4 kills, 0 errors, hitting 1,000. Tetrisky goes down the line. Kiriakou pass bias to the right side. Darcy swings and misses long. Eaters looking for a touch. We're going to have an early challenge by UC Irvine head coach David Nippen. He's challenging that there was a touch on the Hawaii block. Looked a little too high for me, Charlie, but I guess we'll see in our replay footage.
It looked too high, and it looked outside the block.
Here we go.
By a lot.
It'd be Sakanoko or Jordan. Slowed up. Oh, we got a wiggle on the middle finger there.
Yep.
That's a good challenge. It looked like it didn't get anything from our angle, but if you look at Jordan's middle finger and index finger, there's a full touch.
But that being said, it's called.
Jabel Jordan's face is, yeah, I got it.
You can always tell when there's that little smile, you know.
So Irvine gets the point, pulling within 1 at 6-7, bringing Andon Kiriakou back to serve for Irvine. Kiriakou. Oh, and the crowd goes wild because he said 6-7. Off speed, pass by Sakanoko. Rosenthal shoots to Jordan, and Jordan pulls the trigger.
Rosenthal, that was a tremendous set. He's falling backwards, and he still fires the 3 right, just to the right of Jordan so he could hit around that block.
And that brings Sakanoko back to serve for Hawaii. Sakanoko, believe it or not, only 1 kill so far tonight on 1 swing, of course.
The night is young.
Big rip on the serve, misses long. I'm going to guess that's 70 plus for sure on that serve.
Yeah, that's about 85%.
And Clark going back to the service line for Irvine. Clark, the junior transfer from Mesa Community College, as we see Tread Rosenthal take matters into his own hands.
He gets his hands up early and high. Every set is from way above his head. You know Trzaski's already put 3 balls down the line out of the back row, so you've got to respect him on the left side, leaving no blocker on Rosenthal.
Jordan over to Kiriakou, saved by Aitken. Jokanovic denied by the triple stuff of Rosenthal, Todd, and Rohr. Point going to Hawaii. They go up 10-7. And that was because of the tough serve by Travell Jordan.
Yes.
Kiriakou had a nasty float serve with a lot of dance coming for him and is passed off the net. Hand pass by Jokanovic, outside Jokanovic, and Jokanovic rips it cross court, and he's fired up.
Well, the faster offense got the ball out there, didn't give Justin Todd time to get out and close it.
8 serving at 10, and Costi steps back to the service line for the Anteaters. Costi, the 6'5", redshirt freshman setter, overpass by Sakanoko, picked up by Kiriakou. Costi, Jokanovic off of Rosenthal, point Irvine.
This is the thing that Jokanovic does very well, Rob. Like Hilaire Hino did before, he uses a number of different shots to score. Hit 2 balls hard cross court, and then tool that one right off the outside. Solo block on the outside.
9 looking at 10. Good serve by Costi. Tight ball. Back set to Tetrisky. No one up the block. Picked up by Costi. Kiriakou handsets right side. Darcy. Darcy up and inside the block. And we're tied at 10s.
Those are earned points. Irvine fought hard to score both of them.
He had a short approach out of that right side as well, and is still able
the
to
set
take
was a
care of
little
it.
inside. Kiriakou setting it.
Costi stepping back to serve for Irvine. Down the line, Rohr passes off the net, back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky hits it wide. Point going to Irvine, and they take their first lead of the night at 11-10. Good defensive play by Aitken. He had his foot on the line and knew right out of the gate to let it go.
With the velocity that Tetrisky hits it, you've got to have your foot on the line. Got to know what's in, what's out.
Koski off the cable, picked up by Todd. Rosenthal, Rohr, roll shot off the block, dug by Aitken. Kosti shoves Goss out of the way. Jokanovic wipes it off the block. Point going to Irvine, and they go up by a pair, 12-10. And that's a quick timeout for Charlie Wade and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
How about that dig by Shane Aitken?
Excellent dig by Shane Aiken, but with this timeout, we'll be back in just a few moments here on ESPN+. Since has always been a national title contender as a coach.
Year after year, he has his team here, and he has his own culture. The UCI culture is definitely different than a lot of these schools around here.
As we come out of the timeouts, 12 serving at 10. Frenchmen on both sides leading the way. Jokanovic for Irvine, Rohr on the other.
It's an all-Frenchman outside hitting game.
Joust went out up top. We got a net violation called against Irvine. Rosenthal went up against Goss. And as they both push, feet were flying in the air.
Rosenthal's a big, strong guy. Dad was a pro football player.
That could have been a dual net right there. Rosenthal's leg was also in it.
It looks like it. Looked like they missed that one.
Aiken to Kossi. And Goss delivers in the middle off of Todd.
You know, you can't jump early. Todd jumped a little early, so he's on the way down. And then that's a weak position blocking-wise. That ball went right through his hands. Great hit by Goss.
Jokanovic serving up 13-11 here in set number 1 for UC Irvine. Jokanovic, a 6'8" freshman outside, serves this one into the net. As that brings the other Frenchman back to serve, and that would be Adrian Rohr, the 6'5" sophomore from Lyon, France. Rohr, high toss, goes off speed over towards Jokanovic. Back to Darcy. Darcy dug by Rohr on the one-hand stab. Bump set by Greenidge. Sakanoko swings, picked up by Todd off the block. Rosenthal looks, goes back to Tetrisky, and he splits the block of Goss and Kiriakou.
Yeah, Goss didn't have time to get over there and close it, so you got Kiriakou one-on-one with Tetrisky.
And you know Tetrisky's going to win that every time, one-on-one.
Kiriakou will surprise him.
A big jump serve by Rohr. Jokanovic has a step in the set. Kiriakou rolls it over the top. Dug by Rohr. Knuckle stab by Greenidge. Roll shot by Sakanoko. Shoot set to Goss. Dug by Rosenthal. On the one-timer. It's OMG or Oh Micah Goss.
You know, he almost got that get a little too low on him. He clipped the top of the net.
Trying to make a highlight reel is what's going on there.
So quick and so athletic.
That brings Goss back to serve, the 6'6" sophomore middle from Santa Barbara, California. Represented the USA this last summer. Greenidge, the Canadian. Back set to Tetrisky. Tetrisky goes off the block of Kiriakou. Score tied at 14s, and we're going to see Finn Kearney in for the first time as Justin Todd checks out.
Finn Kearney's had a great junior career. Arizona Fear player, very, very good player from Arizona.
Big rip by Kearney, misses a long. Point going to UC Irvine as Todd comes back in for Kearney. Darcy going back to serve for Irvine. Darcy on the night, 3 kills, 0 errors, hitting .750. Goes back on the spin serve. Great serve picked up by Rohr. Rosenthal in the middle to Jordan, and Jordan delivers on the quick.
Trevor was up too early also. He was back down by the time they got it.
15 serving to 15. Christian Tetrisky serving it up for the Bows. Tetrisky over towards Jokanovic. Tight ball picked up by Greenidge. In the middle, Jordan as he tips it by the block of Clark, and it falls to the floor, and Irvine, Hawaii regains the lead.
Irvine has to utilize their mobility, and they didn't there. They're going to compete here with the bigger Rainbow team.
Tetrisky back to serve again, takes a little off it and gets an ace because everyone was camping on their heels. For Tetrisky, that's his first ace of the night, 21st of the season. As Irvine takes a timeout, trailing by a pair at 17-15. But Charlie, what we're seeing on both these teams, they're hitting north of 500 offensively.
Yeah, both teams are hitting. You know, Hawaii is hitting 538, but Irvine's hitting 600.
Well, it actually went down to 571 after that last series. only one attack error for Irvine, 2 for Hawaii. As you look at who's leading the way, you got Adrian Rohr with 4 kills, 0 errors, hitting .800 for Irvine. You've got Andrei Jokanovic, 4 kills, 1 error, hitting .600. And Darcy, 3 kills, hitting .750.
Yeah, they're both teams are attacking well. Only 2 hitting mistakes by Irvine, only 1 by Hawaii.
Irvine with 3 blocks, none for Hawaii, which is shocking at the moment because Crush Hawaii with the 2-point lead earlier in set 1, or at our midway point. As we await the serve, Tetrisky going back to serve. Tetrisky, the 6'8" sophomore from Sofia, Bulgaria. He's the Big West Player of the Week, January 5th. Ball's passed by Jokanovic, back over to Darcy. Darcy over the top of the block, and we got a net violation. Jordan claiming the net as he looked at Louis like, sorry, man. 16 looking at 17. As Andon Kiriakou steps back to the service line. Kiriakou was the Big West Defensive Player of the Week on February 9th, as Charlie said, Canadian national team member on the beach side of things. Kiriakou goes crossover towards Rohr, pass off the net. Sakanoko swings off the block, dug by Kiriakou. Aiken steps in the set to Jokanovic as he tips over the block. Greenidge on the diving save. Tip covered by Kiriakou in the middle to Clark, and Clark goes off the outside hand to Sakanoko.
Smart hit. That ball was set a little bit too low for Clark on the transition, and he just turned wrist away, pushed it right off the hands.
You know, I have to give props are due, but Quentin Greenidge, that diving save right in the middle of
not even the middle, almost to the right sideline.
17-17. Kiriakou winds up, goes over towards Rohr as it handcuffs him. Set outside, Sakanoko tips off the block, and he gets the winner. Darcy made the move for it, but deflected farther inside than he anticipated.
They are definitely working on Cameron Costi in the block. Send the ball right to the antenna, let the hitters just going up and over the top. That was just a tip, but it was so high up.
Sakanoko going back to serve for the Bows. Sakanoko goes off speed, passed by Jokanovic. Costi in the middle too. Clark's dug by Greenidge. Rohr swings, and he's denied by Clark as he shuts the door with Costi.
Clark's timing on that block was tremendous. He waited, and then just took away the cross-court angle.
You had to see his eyes. He knew as he took that step out to the pin and lined up with Costi, just pressed over and shut it down.
Yep.
Clark, hybrid, pass by Rohr, bias to the left side, bumps that save. Rohr, stutter step, high line, and Kiriakou got the read, but the beat shot was better by Rohr. And checking in, Kainoa Wade for the first time, the 6'10" serving specialist.
How about a 6'10" serving specialist, son of Charlie Wade, who's second in the conference in hitting percentage, and he's coming off the bench
as
to
a
serve.
Second server.
Yeah, as a second server.
19-18, Wade down the line, make that an ace for Wade. That's his first of the night, 22nd of the season.
And maybe that's why he's a serving sub.
20-18 here in set number 1, and Coach David Niffen taking his second timeout as his Irvine team trails here late here in our first set. Charlie, that's a great substitution by Coach Charlie Wade.
Yeah, well, the key about Kainoa is he's like that every day in and day out. You know, he really played well when Trzaski was hurt, and that's where he got the good hitting percentage. And then he was kind of relegated to the bench. He had a bad match, and now he's taking this serving sub to a whole new level.
Well, he was so good. On February 16th, he is named the AVCA Player of the Week as well as Big West Player of the Week.
Yeah. Yep.
And he also got some time with the U.S. men's national team this last summer. He was selected as an alternate to participate in the 2024 NORCECA Men's Continental Championships.
Well, he was actually in 3 different international events this summer for the USA, either on the training or actually being there.
Well, Kainoa Wade again comes off the bench with the ace to give the Bows the 2-point edge here in set number 1.
I'm lucky enough to be in Hawaii most of the summer, and I get a chance at the Outrigger Canoe Club to see how often Kainoa Wade is down there with games. He plays morning till night every day.
Wade back to serve again, up 20-18. Irvine making a little adjustment to their service line, staying a little deeper than when they were on Wade's first serve. Kiriakou, Kosti, Jokanovic, and Jokanovic wins out and let the jabbering begin.
Yeah, you see the difference in the tempo on that hit. That's what great hitters do. They don't hit with the same tempo. They make the block adjust to whatever their tempo is. He's really smart with what he does, how fast he does it.
Kosti, deep serve, misses long. Point Hawaii. As we see Tread Rosenthal going back to the service line for Hawaii. Rosenthal, second in the nation in assists per set at 10.97. He is a beast of a setter and creates so many problems.
He's been trained. Charlie Wade's always been really good at working with setters, and that's just another example of that.
Jokanovic goes off the block for point going to UC Irvine. I got to save our producer and play hero for the night. Little Trinity
Save
almost
Trinity
got
over there.
crushed by
Save
Quentin
Trinity.
Greenwich. I probably should let Quentin go, hey, hi, Trinity, how are you? Jokanovic off speed, cross court, picked up by Rohr. Back set to Rohr on the give and go, and Rohr delivers on that quick sizzle back set.
Interesting. And Irvine left Darcy on the left to try and match up with Jasinski, and left Andon Kiriakou on the right. They still beat him.
22 serving 220. Rohr back to serve. Pass by Jokanovic. Tight ball set and blocked, covered by Irvine's Kiriakou, who have 4 contact called on the play, and that was a chaotic play to begin with the tight ball to start off with.
I don't think the ball cleared the net. That's why the 4 contact was called.
23 serving 220. The 6'5" sophomore outside delivers long on this one. Irvine 21, Hawaii 23. Take a look at Adrian Rohr. Adrian and Andre played on the same French U21 team this last year.
Both very talented outside hitters.
Micah Goss going back to the service line for Irvine, trailing here in set number 1. Winds up, good serve picked up by Greenidge. Rosenthal outside Sakanoko. He's denied, covered by Greenidge. Rosenthal looks, shoots, backside over to Tetrisky, rolls it inside the block, and Kiriakou got overzealous and followed through into the net after he touched the attack by Tetrisky, which brings us to our first set point for the Bows.
Yeah, off-speed attack.
Set point serve at 21. Todd, a deadly server for the Bows, back to serve. 23 aces on the season for Todd. Picked up by Kiriakou. Kosti back to Darcy. Darcy up, and away.
Great vision by Darcy. William Darcy saw the opening back there, saw the block, hit outside the block, and then in between the defenders.
22 served in a set point, a number 2. Darcy back to serve for Irvine. Darcy off speed, Rohr on the pickup. Rosenthal right side to Tetrisky, triple block, dug by Darcy, saved by Aitken. Kiriakou looks, shoots inside the block, covered by Kosti. Jokanovic shoots it. It's Kiriakou, recycles it. Kosti swings off the block, and we got a net violation on Kosti.
Kosti hit the net.
And is he claiming it? I guess he did. I read his lips. He said, "My bad." As Irvine takes set number 1, 25-22, to go up 1-0.
Ever since their UCLA loss, they've been trending upward.
Kiriakou starts off serve here in set number 2, goes over towards Greenidge. And set over on 2 is Rosenthal, catching the Eaters sleeping on defense. One serve to 0, and the Anteater coaching staff taking issue.
Well, do you see how long he held his hands up? He held them and held them and held the block.
Sakanoko going back to serve, goes off speed into the net. I remember back in the day, a setter who stood, and I say only at 6'8", by the name of James Shaw used to do that. But
yes.
He was such a pioneer in that two-hand game up top.
He had this two-hand. That got called a lot.
Clark off of Rohr, goes the wrong direction. Save by Green Edge. Good set. Set up and over, picked up by Costi. Kiriakou steps in. Jokanovic off the block, recycled. Clark on the pickup. Back to Jokanovic. He's blocked, covered by Costi again. Kiriakou, Jokanovic, third time a charm. Covered again. Chicken wing dig up and over. Rohr picks it up. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Stutter step, roll shot. Dug by Goss, saved by Kiriakou. Jokanovic, step close, goes through the block, and what a rally winner for Irvine. Not so clean, but it got it done.
How did Jokanovic sneak that through? Hit it, it was almost below the net.
Made an offering to the volley gods last night, Charlie, at midnight.
I guess.
Clark back to serve, goes off the cable. Greenidge, good pass. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky down the line, wide and out of play. Point Irvine.
There's Trevor Clark playing like he's a defensive specialist, right on the line, aggressively calling it out.
And looks like Clark goes back to serve and hits this one into the bottom tape. Point going to Hawaii. And his counterpart, middle, Jordan back to serve for the Bows.
Boy, yeah, Jordan was on that Grand Canyon team that was so talented.
Ball's passed off net by Jokanovic. Back to Goss. He forces it through the middle. Point going to Irvine. For Goss, that's only his 5th attempt on the night, but it's also his 3rd kill.
Todd jumps too early with him. You know, Micah can just hang up there and slice it through.
Cameron Costi serving for the Anteaters. Great serve picked up by Sakanoko. Rosenthal over towards Rohr, and he's denied. And the Aussie with beef. William Darcy shuts it down up top.
Darcy did what you're supposed to do. He waited and got it second, touched it second, and just hands are over, all force.
5 serving 2 here in set 2. Costi unloads, but unfortunately low and into the cable. Point going to Hawaii. Rosenthal on the AVCA, actually the inaugural AVCA Player of the Year watch list. Exciting to see his career from being a freshman to where he's at now.
And he's really progressed, not only as a player, but as a leader.
Ball's passed off net by Aiken, bumps it by Kiriakou. Stutter step approach by Darcy, swings deep. Dug by Sakanoko. Tetrisky off the outside hand of Darcy, as he knows he just got used, abused, and got left confused.
He likes to hit the ball down the line. You almost have to get outside him and turn that thing back in instead of chasing it to the outside.
4 serving to 5. Rosenthal serving for Hawaii. Rosenthal cross court to Jokanovic. Good pass. Costi goes back, give and go as he drills it off of Rosenthal coming back to play defense. He caught him high as he is coming off the serve because it was such a fast swing.
Well, it was so open that they hit it into his shoulder.
6 serving 4. Jokanovic serving for Irvine. And he goes into the net, point going to the Bows. For Irvine on the night, that's service error number 5 versus the 4 for Hawaii as Adrian Rohr goes back to the service line for the Bows. Rohr goes off speed, picked up by Jokanovic, set by Aiken. Right side, Darcy over the block, dug by Rohr. Rosenthal in pursuit, saved. Greenidge has a free ball it over, and here it comes. Aiken on the offering, hand pass. Costi outside. Kiriakou tools it through. Tetrisky recovered. Sakanoko looks and shoots wide and out of play. But you can see him thinking, he's looking, I'm going hot and flat off the block.
Well, that was a great hustle and scramble play by Irvine just to earn that point.
7 serving to 5. That brings number 7, Micah Goss, to the service line for UCI. Goss, low toss. Cross court, picked up by Rohr. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky slices and dices inside the block of Clark and Kiriakou.
I think it was just outside the block down the line.
Well, I was trying to give the block a little credit, Charlie.
They need to get out on Tetrisky's line and try and dig his cross court.
That brings Todd back to the service line for Hawaii. Todd, no attempts at the net offensively, but he's got a 1 block assist to his name. Tough serve picked up by Jokanovic. Kossi outside Kiriakou. Wipes it off the block of Tetrisky. And our 6'2 Canadian using every tool in the toolbox.
That's why the crowd loves him. That little guy's doing all that.
8 serving to 6 as our Aussie goes back to serve. That's William Darcy from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and misses long on the jumper.
They're going on a streak of too many missed serves right now to stay in this, to keep this lead.
Tetrisky going back to serve for Hawaii. Tetrisky, 6 kills, hitting .333. Jokanovic, perfect pass. In the middle to Clark, and he hits it inside the towers of power somehow. Somehow it got by Jordan and Rosenthal.
Same thing, though. They were up early, and then they were coming back down as it went into them and hands down.
9 serving to 7. Kiriakou serving for Irvine on the quick release, and Irvine, as soon as that whistle was blown, threw up the toss for the serve.
It's 5 missed serves in a row.
8 serving to 9. Sakanoko at the service line for Hawaii. Sakanoko, 2 kills, hitting .143 on the night. Off speed, good pass by Aitken. Outside Jokanovic, and busting it cross court is Jokanovic. But that pass by Aitken, a lot of pace on the serve, and he's able to get some good control on his platform.
Set was a little inside. He held the opposite blocker to the line, cut it right inside of him.
Clark deep float to Rohr. Rosenthal in the middle to Jordan, and Jordan little paintbrush swing in the middle.
Yep.
That keeps the Bows within 1 at 9, looking at 10. Jordan on the evening. Floats it over towards Jokanovic. Jokanovic off the block, covered by Jordan. Rosenthal dumps into the net, and he kicked the ball, and it went into our R1. And Rosenthal is a nice kid. He was frustrated, kicked it, and it ended up hitting the first referee, and it automatically gets a red card. And it was totally on accident, but it's in frustration that Rosenthal kicked it.
And that's why you don't do that ever, in practice or any time. Because that call has to be made.
And as nice as a kid as he is.
He's a nice kid, and he was frustrated, which we all get, but you got to practice not losing control.
Oh, gosh, I feel bad for him. But, I mean, as you, Charlie, said, it's like we have to control ourselves.
You have to.
11-9, you never want to come down to something like that, but, you know, they had to abide by the rules. Yep. That I understand, too.
Yep.
Another red card was just issued.
No, that was the same red card. They didn't give him the point for the red card.
Set outside to Rohr. He's denied, and he's denied big by Darcy and Goss as they double flex. 13-9 is our score.
Great timing on that block.
And that brings Kossi back to the service line again for Irvine. Kossi winds up, puts a little heat on it. Overpass picked up by Goss. Kossi gets underneath it, shoots it to the Jokanovic. Tool off the cable, and it stays on the Hawaii side. Rosenthal wanted to swing at the overset and ended up hitting it in the cable.
He's had a kind of a bad run here the last 3. He dumped the ball into the net. He kicked the ball off the referee, and then he gets worked with a left-hand shot by...
Well, I'm sure that he's going to settle because he's just a good player, and he knows. He's like, that was stupid times 2, yep. And he's going to
times 3.
Okay, I skipped.
Yeah.
14-9, and Irvine's biggest lead of the night as Cossey goes back to the service line again. Cossey lets her rip. Rosenthal, big to Sakanoko, and he explodes out of the back row.
Irvine did get 2 up on that Bick, but they need to close. The left side needs to close it to him.
10 serving to 14. Rosenthal at the service line for Hawaii. Rosenthal leading a 3:33 offensive effort for Hawaii so far tonight. Jokanovic. Cossey outside. Darcy over the block of Tetrisky and Todd. That is a long man out there putting that ball away.
A long man with 2 long people on the other side of the net, and he hits over them.
And we've got immediate timeout. Don't go away. We've got more volleyball coming your way here on ESPN+. In his 16th season, look at that winning percentage for Charlie in conference play. I don't think those are the right numbers. I actually have different numbers for Charlie. Career record 357 and 177 overall. For men's, only 319 and 131. Yeah, I had a feeling that graphic was wrong when I saw that because he doesn't have a sub 500 record.
No.
15 serving to 10. Jokanovic back to serve for UC Irvine. Great serve picked up by Rosenthal. High ball. Katrisky off the block, and Cossey and Jokanovic looked at each other as it bounced out of play. It's probably a retrievable ball.
Yeah, that ball, especially with those guys, when that block is set in front, you almost need to get off and out of the court, behind the court, and run that ball down sideline to sideline.
And we've got Roar back to the service line for Hawaii. Goes down the line towards Kiriakou. Cossey in the middle of Goss, and Justin Todd with a stuff up top.
That's a nice adjustment by Justin Todd. He slowed it down and waited, got up and over on the top of it.
The converted outside hitter to middle from Houston, Texas.
Yep, that was a good move. Of course, Trevor Clark is a converted outside hitter.
Ball's back set to Darcy. Darcy over the block, but long. 12 serving 15, and Darcy is saying challenge, Niff. And we got immediate challenge, but which one's it going to be? Touch, it's going to be. So original call was the attack by UC Irvine was called long, and no touch on the block. Irvine is challenging if there was a touch. Let's see if our incredible ESPN camera crew, that is too high on that side. I wonder if there's an end line view on the other side that could see hands. What do you think, Charlie?
I think that ball might have touched the back line, but that wasn't what the challenge was.
But they have to, in continuity, look at the footage through that. So if they see it does hit the end line, if we can see that side view again, we could probably get a better look. So I only watched and looked for the touch. I didn't see the follow through the ball towards the end. Here we go, end line view. Well, Louis' fingers are taped, but it looks like it's too far outside. But it's the end line view that Charlie wanted to see. Wait a second, we got a decision. Successful challenge. It's called in as the continuity call goes.
You know, as they say, you look at that call. It was 99% out, but that 1% made it 100% in.
So that was a great challenge. Good call by William Darcy. And we have a collection of French minds at the net. Jokanovic and Sakanoko chatting. And Darcy doing his wonderful gentlemanly Aussie appeal.
Well, they're ignoring him. They're just walking away, ignoring
I'm Australian,
him.
I don't lie.
No.
16-12 the score after the successful challenge.
And I remember I said, no, I think it's like in or out.
As Goss goes back to serve for Irvine. And he serves that one low into the net. So we're going to see Finn Kearney again for Hawaii. Check in for Justin Todd. Kearney, the 6'5", sophomore, opposite and outside hitter. Talented player. Came in off the bench in the Long Beach series and delivered when Louis went down with cramps.
Yeah, he's a left-hander, plays pretty well on the left. Really well.
Highly touted player out of high school, too.
Very, very. Sandra Day O'Connor High School in Arizona is really good.
17-13.
Zach Rama was on that team.
Zach Rama.
Yeah.
Darcy Cross court, misses wide, and he's getting aggressive, but put too much thumb down action on it. 14 looking at 17. Christian Tetrisky back to serve for the Bows. Tetrisky 7 kills, hitting .385. He's got an ace already on the night. Pass by Jokanovic and thrown down up top by Jordan. And like that, the Bows back within 2 at 15-17. As we look at Jokanovic, not happy with himself on that pass off the serve from Tetrisky.
They're in row 4. This is where Irvine has
and
trouble.
And a chest pops and a dig to kill on the chester from Kiriakou. That's on the secret page of the Anteater playbook.
Yeah. Very secret. Very secret. So secret they didn't even know about it before the play.
18 serving to 15.
It's just a high IQ play.
I think you could hear Coach Niffen on that one.
Leaned over and said, that's just a high IQ play.
They do that on beach. It's cool. Off speed pass by Jordan. And Rosenthal feeds Jordan right back as he throws down.
Trevor Clark's got to move to the left and take that wrist away shot.
Look at Jordan getting high. And actually, Clark jumped to the left of him, too far to the left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He needs to move to his left more, take away his right wrist away shot.
Sakonoko back to serve for Hawaii. Goes off speed. Kiriakou, Kasi, Jokanovic slices and dices between Rosenthal and Jordan. 19-16. Jokanovic, a true freshman, leading the way for UC Irvine. He's on that AVCA Player of the Year watch list as well. Ball's passed off net by Rohr. Rosenthal back to Rohr. Tips off the block, dug by Darcy. Costi gets underneath it. Jokanovic tips over the block, covered by Tetrisky. Rosenthal outside to Rohr. Rohr goes into the net. Point going to Irvine. 20, serving 16.
See, even that play by Rohr after he hit the ball across court, grabbed the bottom of the net with both hands, that can be called if the referee decides.
Oh, and dropping an ace coffin corner is Trevor Clark. Irvine up by 5 at 21-16 as Coach Charlie Wade says, I've had enough. Let's stop this right here and takes a timeout.
Trevor Clark's serve was like a mesmerizer. It's in the air so long they just let it drop for an ace.
Well, it had that physics-defying movement to it, kind of like a UFO. Just dropped as it cleared the net.
Physics-defining? Explain that to me.
Okay, it's got voodoo magic on it, Charlie. It had a wicked drop as it cleared the net. As you see that replay there. And that timeout for Hawaii at 21-16 as we look at some of the other action. If you've been following along the nation, UCLA went into last night 20-0, the only undefeated team remaining in the nation until they visited Malibu last night for the Malibu Roofing Company. Cole Harkey, Ryan Barnett, the reigning AVCA Player of the Week. They definitely did their thing. But I have to give a shout out to libero Jacob Riley, the transfer from CUI, who was phenomenal in serve receiving on defense.
How about Ford Harmon, who came off the bench
and hit outside.
Hit outside, hit 375 for the night at 6'2" or something. And he really stabilized the defense. Those two back there digging, the ball control became so much better for Pepperdine.
Ford Harmon, a Long Beach State transfer, also the Santa Barbara Open winner, alongside of Will Rodman, the former Stanford standout this last summer.
Two good players.
21-16, Clark floats at the Rohr, bad pass. Rosenthal saves it. Tetrisky out of the back row, dug by Darcy. Costi outside, Jokanovic off the block, dug by Tetrisky. Rosenthal gets underneath it, shoots to Rohr. Rohr off the block, dug by Kiriakou. Goss steps in the set. It's an overpass set. Rosenthal swings and goes down the line towards Clark. Smart play by Rosenthal. And that stops the 5-point run for UC Irvine. as Kainoa Wade checks in for serving purposes.
Remember the momentum he created in the last set.
From Kailua, Oahu, Hawaii. Good serve picked up by Kiriaku. Kossi in the middle of Goss and busting out the whooping stick is OMG.
Now, I talk about difference in tempo. The last ball that got blocked, he was up and wanted to hit late. They took it away. That time he out-quicked the block. Hit that ball so fast before the block could really adjust to what he was doing.
That brings Kossi to the service line for UC Irvine. Kossi down the line, pass by Sakanoko, shoots at the Todd, dug by Aitken. Kossi fires out to Jokanovic, tips over the block, dug by Sakanoko. Rosenthal back to Sakanoko, tips, swatted, covered by Sakanoko. Rosenthal, roar down the line, dug by Kiriaku. Kossi outside Jokanovic, cross court, dug by Greenidge. Tetrisky sets with his paws, outside to Roar. Roar tips, dug by Kossi, set by Kiriaku, out to Jokanovic. Jokanovic through the block, dug by Tetrisky, and swinging off the block is Rosenthal, and he tools Goss. He smiles across the net to Goss, and Goss goes, "You got me, bro."
Yeah. Kind of a headsies play.
What a rally here.
How about if Goss had watched him and just dropped his hand? That ball would hit the anteater sign at the top of the gym over there.
It would have cracked the dome of the Brent.
Yeah.
Rosenthal back to serve for Hawaii. High spin toss, goes down the line. Kiriaku passes a dime outside to Darcy. Tips with his left, dug by Greenidge. And Darcy return package courtesy of Australian Air. 23 serving to 18.
It's a nice play by Darcy not to be called over.
Jokanovic back to serve for UC Irvine. The 6'8 freshman outside. Winds up down the line, pass by Sakanoko. Rosenthal to Roar, tips off the block, dug by Kiriaku, covers his own ball, back set, Darcy looks, shoots it through the block to Trisky. Rosenthal back to Roar, Roar off the block, dug by Jokanovic. Darcy swings, dug by Greenidge, set by Tetrisky, right side, Roar, Roar, swings high, net violation on Irvine. And they're trying to see which one of the anteaters netted on the play. Kiriaku going down to the R2, and Matt Laveau, the R2.
Here, look at it.
Look how high Goss is. There was like no net on that ball.
No net on the ball.
Well, 19-23, Roar goes cross court to Jokanovic. Back over to Kiriaku, dug by Rosenthal, and Kiriaku with a put away on the off speed. And we have set point Irvine serving at 19.
Kiriaku's doing that stuff. Hitting wise, it's really intelligent. If he's got it, he goes for it. Otherwise, he keeps it in play, does smart, safe things.
Micah Goss back to the service line for UCI. 4 kills on 8 swings, hitting .250. Goes cross court off the cable. Roar on the pass off the net. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky off the block, dug by Jokanovic. Kossi fires in the middle. Tip by Clark, and Irvine takes the second set 25-19 to grab the equalizer. As we're all tied up at 1 set apiece in our best of 5 Big West men's volleyball matchup. Don't go away. We've got more volleyball coming your way here on ESPN+. Tomorrow night, 'cause it's part 2 of Pepperdine, this time at UCLA.
Yep.
Luis Sakanoko to start off with serve for the Bows here in set number 3. First ball off speed, Aitken gets underneath it, back set to Darcy. Darcy off the block to Trisky, hand pass. Back over to Sakanoko, and he goes off the block on the bick of Clark.
I think he hit Andre.
Something happened to Clark, though, where he turned away quickly and looked down.
Maybe he tweaked his ankle.
1-0, Sakanoko back to the service line again for Hawaii. Sakanoko off speed, Aitken. Kossi dumps, and he puts it away off of Tetrisky. The 2-ball magic by Kossi, changing it up. Not known for his offensive prowess, though, on that second ball.
No.
Clark back to serve for Irvine, all tied at once. Hybrid down the line over towards Roar. One-hand dish, and welcome to the highlight zone. Rosenthal to Jordan.
Yeah, because Rosenthal's front row, you've got to jump with him, which is what got Micah Goss out of the blocking attack.
That one-hand dish, great control by Rosenthal. Perfect to the swinging arm of Jordan. Jokanovic, Kossi, shoot to Goss, and he tools the block of Todd.
Jokanovic wanted to play that, then he figured out I'm about 8 feet out of bounds here. I better let this one go.
Cameron Kossi at the service line for UC Irvine. He's guiding Irvine to a .414 hitting percentage tonight. Winds up over towards Sakanoko. Rosenthal to Tetrisky at the right side. Dug by Kossi, saved by Goss. Free ball by Kiriakou. Let's see what Greenwich does on the offering. And it falls just wide. And all the Anteaters saying challenge to Niff. Ball was called out originally by the lines official, Heather Pickett. Let's see on the dig right here. Going, Greenwich getting underneath it. Oh.
I think it was in.
That was by the hair of your chinny chin.
I told you,
in.
look, 99% out, but it's 100% in.
I mean, Greenwich got his foot on the line, but it was like right there by the smallest hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought maybe Tetrisky was going to screen that view, because I don't think we've got another view where we could see from the other side, because it's just the wall.
Tetrisky
No
was
camera.
standing right in the way. Matt Laveau has a pretty quick call on it, though.
And looks like the ball is called wide. So Coach David Niffen down to two challenges on the night. Niff taking the credit for the loss, actually waving at the lines official in a friendly way.
Heather does a great job.
Three serving to two. Rosenthal serving for the Bows. Rosenthal, high toss, cross court to Jokanovic. Kossi outside to Darcy. Darcy inside the block of Todd and Tetrisky, and it rides the monorail out of play.
Well, he thumb away, and he just ripped it kind of high enough that Todd couldn't get his inside hand over far enough.
Three serving at three. That brings Jokanovic back to serve. 10 kills, 1 error, hitting .429. Goes towards Roar. Rosenthal, Tetrisky tries to wipe it off the block. Blocked by Darcy, covered by Greenwich. Out to Todd, and Todd bounces it off the end line. A little low set, but he's still able to get it in.
Todd 1 for 1 now for the night, hitting 1,000.
His first attack attempt of the night. Actually, that's his second, Charlie.
Oh, I missed the first one.
4 serving to 3. Roar back to the service line for Hawaii. Roar, cross court to Jokanovic. Kossi back to Darcy. Darcy takes care of business on the backyard barbecue. I like that one, Charlie.
I don't like a backyard barbecue. That's anyway, what he did is he kind of drew the block out, and then at the last second, he just cuts it inside of it.
Scores tied at 4 apiece, and that brings Micah Goss, 6'6" middle, back to serve for Irvine. Goss, 4 kills, hitting .250. Cross court, pass like Greenwich, just took an overpass. Clark lets her rip. And we got a net violation called against Clark on the kick on the follow through. And what a break for Hawaii. Let's see on the replay.
Clark kind of gave it away. Yeah, right there.
Because everybody was kung fu fighting.
Well, he came down and he just looked like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, like he knew he'd made a mistake.
5-4, Todd, tough serve. Kossi fires it to Clark, and he makes the error right, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a nice correction.
5 serving 5, and that brings number 5, Darcy.
Remember in past matches, when teams have matched up blocking-wise on Clark pretty well, they've gone to running a gap, as they did there, and it usually works pretty well.
Hybrid this time for Darcy, picked up by Roar. Tetrisky one-on-one. Kiriakou gets his hands on it. Kossi dumps, covered by Rosenthal. Recovered by Tetrisky. Set short over to Kiriakou. Kiriakou, he's blocked up top, and Tetrisky looks and smiles across the net. because he had Kiriakou on the double.
He can't point like that under the net at somebody.
But that was a great dig by
Great dig.
Rosenthal. Looks like he may have twisted his ankle on that play there, though. Tetrisky back to serve up 6-5, leads himself into the court and gets an ace off of Jokanovic. That's ace number 2 on the night for Tetrisky, 22nd on the season.
That ball's moving pretty well.
But did you see his toss? He threw it so far inside of the court.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he's going to get to it in time. Tetrisky, again, has to go off speed. Picked up by Clark. Kossi back to Darcy. Darcy tips. He's swatted and a net violation on Sakonoko. And he knows he got caught.
Well, that's when the velocity of the hit changes, you kind of alter what you're doing. See how he's going to try and reach it like that?
Oh,
so on the way down.
On the taped hand,
Yeah.
went into the net, so we're tied at 6s. As Kiriakou goes back to the service line. Kiriakou, 4 kills, 0 errors, hitting .444. Sakonoko on the delivery. Ball's dug by Darcy on the dump by Rosenthal. Jokanovic, deep corner dug by Greenidge. Perfect dig out to Sakonoko. Sakonoko swings high off the block of Costi and gets the winner as he is fading out of play and falling back. Jordan-esque, as in the number he's wearing.
Jordan-esque.
8 serving to 6. Hawaii with the lead here in the third set. As Sakonoko, a high toss, and out of the shooting gallery, ace off of Kiriakou, gives the Bows a 9-6 lead, and a quick timeout by head coach David Knipp in his first. Don't go away, we've got more Big West Volleyball coming at you from the Brennan Event Center here on ESPN+. Where the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors lead in set number 3, 9-6 over the Anteaters of UC Irvine in our 1-1 matchup. I'm Rob Aspero with Charlie Brand, and Charlie, interesting back and forth battle so far here.
Yeah, Hawaii really has the last bit of momentum going their way. Serving tough over and over and over. And even though you handle it for a while, it's only a matter of time before that tough serving kind of throws you off.
Sakonoko coming off an ace off of Kiriakou and a David Kniffen time out. Let's see what he does. Off speed to Kiriakou. Ball has come over, dumped over, picked up by Rohr. Rosenthal fakes the attack. Rohr blocked up top, covered by Greenidge, set in the middle to Jordan, picked up by Aitken. Kossi outside Jokanovic. Jokanovic dug by Rohr, set by Tetrisky. Off speed shot off the block, dug by Darcy, saved. Kossi sets it over, picked up by Tetrisky, overpass, and rejected up top, and sloppy picnic ball here in the Bren.
Yeah, I keep saying that a real difference with the team that's positive for Irvine is the fact that their ball control, lots of one-arm ball control plays over here. Under control, the UH matches, digs like that aren't coming back the same way.
7 looking at 9. Clark on the hybrid, passed by Greenidge. Rosenthal to Jordan, dug by Clark, set out to Jokanovic. Jokanovic recycles, covered by Darcy. Kossi out to Jokanovic, dug by Greenidge, over dig, covered by Goss. Kossi outside, Jokanovic wipes off the block, covers his own ball. Kossi, Jokanovic wipes it off the block. Point going to Irvine. That was a lot of wiping going on.
That was a lot of Jokanovic versus
the world.
No, Rosenthal specifically.
8 serve to 9. As Clark goes back to serve. Greenidge outside to Rohr. Rohr off the block, dug by Clark, set by Kossi. Jokanovic off the outside block, and Clark is celebrating like he got a ticket to Disneyland.
Remember he was an outside hitter before he became a middle blocker. So he's playing some good defense out there, not afraid to get in and dig it. And Jokanovic, again, just ball's behind him. He swings, hits the line off the block out of bounds. And
hybrid pass by Rohr. Rosenthal big to Sakonoko. Sakonoko off of Darcy. And Louis Sakonoko is mad.
I wonder how that got by Goss. Didn't hit it very high. He just hit it hard.
Darcy smiles like, I'm all good, mate.
Good, mate.
10 serving to 9 after the blast by Louis Sakonoko. Jordan over to Jokanovic. in the middle to Goss. Chicken wing dig cover, but it goes the wrong way. Rosenthal with a return package for the Bows.
Here again, we've got two hitters that side. You've got Darcy coming out of the back row. I'm not sure setting that little trap gap is going to work.
Jordan down the line. Aitken dumped with a little bag of magic trick action by Cameron Costi.
That was a good play. So you got that middle blocker. You got your 6'11" middle blocker playing back left. Let's tip in front of him.
That was a little hocus pocus action by
You
Costi.
see a head spin coming off. It was going sideways.
Costi serving. Goes off the cable. Todd, hand pass. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky off the block of Jokanovic. Jokanovic on the late jump, kind of committed to the middle.
Well, they're, you can see they're kind of barking at each other over there. Shane's going, take the line. They've talked about it. But Jokanovic didn't get out there on the line.
12-10, Rosenthal at the service line for Hawaii. Ball's passed by Aitken, Costi, high ball, Darcy. Darcy over the block, Greenidge over dig. Picked up by Aitken, Costi steps underneath, goes outside. Darcy tips under the block. Rosenthal swinging high and return package. The battle of the Frenchmen went out by Jokanovic that time.
That's really got to make the Frenchman upset because Jokanovic just, advertised it after he makes a play.
Gets both hands on that ball and shuts it down. 11 looking at 12. Jokanovic off speed, Greenidge, good pass. Rosenthal to Tetrisky, tips over the block, dug by Kiriakou. Jokanovic right side, Darcy swings, dug by Rosenthal. Greenidge right side over to Tetrisky. Tetrisky tips it and it stays on the Hawaii side, and he slams the ball down, and that should be another red card.
Yeah, that is a red card.
And it is a red card. And that is just not normal for this Hawaii team right now.
I hate to bring this up, Rob, but if players are doing that now in this big, heavily contested match, they've done it before. That didn't just happen first time.
Oh, was it Roar? That was Tetrisky.
Yeah. No, it was Roar, who just got blocked. Who had just got blocked by Jokanovic.
13 serving at 12 after the second red card on Hawaii tonight.
Yep.
Jokanovic back to serve for UC Irvine. Jokanovic gets an ace off of Greenidge. And for Jokanovic, that's ace number 27, first of the night.
Again, that's a momentum switch. You get that red card, and the ace following that is part of that.
Jokanovic, high toss with a lot of spin, goes into the net this time. Stops a three-point run by UC Irvine as Adrian Rohr goes back to the service line for Hawaii. Rohr, 6 kills, 6 errors, hitting 0 tonight, but he's got 5 digs and a block assist. Rohr, high spin toss. Aitken, perfect pass. Costi back to Darcy. Darcy over the block. Rohr on an overhand dig. Right side to Tetrisky. Tetrisky blocked up top, and it goes out of play. Smart play by Tetrisky.
He likes the line.
Tetrisky having himself a night as well. That's killed number 9, hitting just below 300. 14-14 the score. Rohr towards Kiriakou. Costi big to Jokanovic, dug by Greenidge. Tetrisky high ball to Sakanoko off the top of the block, and a smart play by the junior outside hitter.
Very, very smart play. You got 2 big blocks in front. They think it's a media timeout, and it's not. There was a timeout called earlier in this set. So you don't take a media if there's a timeout called.
15 serving 14. Rohr serves harder this time. Tight pass, and on the one-timer is Luis Sakanoko, and Hawaii back up by a pair. And now I've got a timeout taken by head coach David Niffen as Irvine now trails here in set number 3. after the 3-point run by the Rainbow Warriors. Charlie back and forth here in the midway point.
And actually the ball control, which has been a strength of Irvine's, kind of fell apart there in the last 3 points. Once that ball control leaves, then I mean your momentum switches, and then that's hard to turn it around.
Well, Roar after that red card went to a 3/4 speed spin serve twice, and then that last ball, it was a full heater.
Yeah.
So he's keeping them off balance in serve receive.
And again, as I said earlier in the match, that's one of the things Charlie Wade really works on is having every one of his servers understand and control different tempos. Whether it's hitting at 50% or 80%, they feel confident that it's going to be in because of that.
Yeah, I know that we had a conversation with Charlie last year, or the last time that Hawaii was here, about what a acceptable ace to error ratio was. He ups his to about 90%.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like that's the expectation of the gym. It's not a 1-for-1. Like I want 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, the reality is, if you're going to serve at 90%, you're going to miss some, you know.
And with that, the teams are back on the court here on what is pool party day at the Brennan Event Center. That's members of our UCI women's volleyball team sporting their pool gear.
They are enjoying the men's volleyball season. They come dressed up every week.
Roar back to serve, goes over towards Aitken. Set in the middle, Goss, and Goss turning on the flamethrower in the middle.
Again, Rob, they're running that gap. Instead of running right at the big 6'9", 6'10" middle, they're making him move a little bit into the gap. And Goss is getting there quicker.
15 serving to 16. Goss back to serve for Irvine. And Goss on the night for the Anteaters, 5 kills, only hitting 182. Serves that one into the net. And Finn Kearney checking in for Justin Todd on the Bows side. Kearney being used primarily for serving purposes for the Bows this year, with the exception of filling in for Louis Sakanoko during the Long Beach series in night number 1.
Yep. Talented player.
Kearney takes a rip, goes over, pass by Jokanovic, backs at to Darcy. Darcy rolls it over the block. Rosenthal, Roar, high ball, Sakanoko. He's swinging for the Stars. He has to cover his own ball. Save, Sakanoko gets a good set from Kearney as he rolls it down the line. And what a save by Kearney.
Where was Costi on that?
He had broken for the net already.
I don't want him to stay there long, stay back right longer.
Actually, no, he is camping and turned the wrong way.
Yep.
Kearney to Aitken. Fired out to Kiriakou, and Kiriakou goes off of Kearney.
Interesting, there's the hole, a seam in the block. He found the seam, but he hit the ball with no topspin on it. It was a knuckleball coming at Kearney. Hard to dig that ball.
16 serving to 18. Darcy back to the service line. The senior from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, drops an ace on the deck.
That's a new serve in his repertoire. Earlier in this year and through his career, he's not had that short serve under control. That was very well done.
Ace number 1 on the night, 19th of the season. He's averaging .24 aces per set. Another hybrid pass by Sakanoko. Rosenthal to Tetrisky. Tetrisky goes off the outside hand of Kiriakou.
Tetrisky is a very good hitter. He knows the success you have hitting line. Sideline's right there. You can hit off the block and out of bounds. Hard to dig behind it.
19 serve to 17. Tetrisky on the serve. Goes off the cable. Pancake save. Chicken wing up and over. Save by Rosenthal. Roar goes high ball to Sakanoko. Sakanoko rolls over the block. Aitken on the dig. Darcy sets left side. Kiriakou high line tip. And it gets the end line love. Point going to Irvine. 18 serving to 19.
That's a great shot. Smart shot.
That pancake by Clark, though, leading to this transition tip winner off the Coffin corner line. Kiriakou off speed, Sakanoko, Rosenthal to Tetrisky on the right side, and he is denied on the solo 10-finger discount by Jokanovic.
He didn't show it early, but he jumped out into the line and was able to drop into it.
And looks like we've got a timeout taken by Hawaii as Irvine goes on a 2-point run after some fantastic never say die play.
Yeah, that was a nice adjustment on the block. Finally getting Trubisky's line and turning it in. It actually hit Trubisky on the way down after he hit the ball. Bounced it off his leg.
Well, while we're at this break here, I got to give a shout out to some of our fans watching on the ESPN Plus broadcast. And yes, we're all one big happy volleyball family. Sydney Miller and the University of Hawaii Beach Bows watching in Arizona, playing in the Bear Down tournament in Tucson. So Sydney, you're a rock star. Beach Bows, good luck. I hope you had a good day in Tucson.
My good friend Danny Alvarez is leading that show.
Danny Alvarez, the second best looking Filipino in the world.
You think you're the first best?
No, that's Manny Pacquiao. So shout out to the Beach Bows.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All tied up in 19s with a lot of action here.
I have a shout out of my own. They have we're the giving month of April. We give those of us that donate to the program every year have our amount labeled, and people are asked to donate to match my amount. Well, I just noticed and found out that our fellow broadcaster from Hawaii, Chris McLaughlin, has donated to the Irvine Fund to match my amount. What an outstanding thing for a class guy to do. He and his wife Beth are the best.
Such a great family. I mean, Chris C-Mac, amazing broadcaster and person, along with Kanoa Leahy and the rest of the Hawaii crew.
Yep.
Kiriakou, trap set, just went up top by Rosenthal. Kossi, Jokanovic off the block and out of play. Advantage Irvine, 20-19.
Irvine plays a 10-foot line game with a 10-foot sideline court with 3-on-3, and they work on things just like that every single practice.
Kiriakou's beach serve goes towards Rohr. Rosenthal looks and dumps, and Rosenthal taking care of business on the 2-ball. That gives us the perfect score at 20-20.
Why is that perfect?
20-20 vision. Sakanoko back to serve for Hawaii. He's got 9 kills, 1 error. He's hitting .471. Serves that one into the net. As Trevor Clark goes back to the service line for UCI.
Trevor Clark has the most serving attempts in this match. That means they're scoring the most points when he's serving.
Hand pass by Rohr. Rosenthal in the middle to Jordan, and Jordan goes off of Jokanovic. And we're going to see Kainoa Wade in the serve for Jordan.
Well, again, that was a nice move by Andre, except he jumped too early. He's got to wait and jump late and take that thumb away. Kainoa Wade can create some momentum right here with this serve.
He serves down at the ball. Off the cable, Aiken, overpass, Rohr steps in on the hand pass. Rosenthal, big to Sakanoko, goes off of Darcy again.
They may want to take that cross body out of the back row away, slide the block over a little bit.
What's different is when most hitters come out of the big, they go towards area 5. Sakanoko has been sending it down area 1.
Yeah, he's hitting across his body every time.
22-21, Wade on the serve. Goes into the net. We're tied at 22s. 1 for 1. It's a good trade-off still.
Yep. How about Charlie Wade's son is 6'10", and he's got a huge upside. As I said earlier, he works so hard.
Costi back to serve. Sakanoko, perfect dime to Rosenthal. Blocked up top, and Rosenthal takes it into his own hands and marks a 10-foot line. Point going to Hawaii, 23-22. Coach Charlie was mentioning something about the talking across the net, but they're all friends, aren't they?
I don't know about that. Andre has been a little bit obnoxious after he makes a successful play.
And that serve goes into the net by Rosenthal. We're tied at 23s. I missed my moment, but you know, when Kainoa Wade got the Player of the Week, it had to be so exciting for the dad, for the son. But then, in the same respect, you look at the other side net. You got Cameron Costi and John Costi.
Those two matches we played earlier in the year with those two playing was a really outstanding thing of.
Sakanoko denied by Goss, and we've got set point Irvine serving at 23. And we've got a timeout taken by Hawaii. What a timely block by OMG.
Goss was really smart. You know, I just talked about taking the cutback from Sakanoko out of the back row. Well, he went the other way with it, which is a smart play on his part. But Goss was waiting and just dropped both hands into the angle to take that away.
You're looking at Travell Jordan, and he and Micah Goss on the same USA team this summer, along with Trent Rosenthal.
Yeah.
So many talented volleyball players in the nation this year, I feel like,
yeah.
Charlie.
The one thing that we've got to do as a nation is develop more outside hitters. You know, you look here, you got all four outside hitters are foreign players, 3 Frenchmen and a Canadian. And as our outside hitters who have been around for a while, we've got to be able to replenish those with really successful outside hitters. We've got a lot of middles coming in and up and outstanding. We've got great setters. Really, you know, look at Rowan, look at Rosenthal, and we've got some really good liberos. You know, Eric Choji's still playing, going to his 4th Olympics probably, but you know the talent's everywhere except we need just more outside hitters.
Well, it actually would counter your point saying, well, there's Cooper Robinson. You have Sean Kelly. Zach Rama.
Yeah, Sean Kelly has really improved.
And depending on what Patrick Rogers decides to do at Ball State, because the guy loves the beach. He's a great outdoor player.
He's a funny guy, too. We had so much fun doing that interview with him.
We've got set point Irvine serving a 23 with Andre Jokanovic back to serve for UCI.
It's a tough situation for a freshman.
6-8 goes down the line. Sakanoko overpass picked up by Aitken. Let's see what Costi does. Fires in the middle. Goss off the block, and Irvine steals the 3rd set, 25-23, to go up 2 sets to 1 in our best of 5 Big West matchup. Don't go away. We've got more volleyball coming your way here on ESPN Plus.
It's going to be unbelievable.
April 24th through 26th, right here in the Brand on court 21. You know it's going to be hot action in here, and C-Mac and Kano will be on call courtside. We'll heckle them from behind.
Yep, yeah.
First serve misses long in the 4th set. 1-0 Hawaii as Sakanoko rotates to the service line. Sakanoko, 10 kills, only 2 errors, hitting .421. He's got an ace on the night and 3 digs. Sakanoko goes into the net. Point going to Irvine, 1-1. And Trevor Clark back serving. Charlie pointed this out last time at the service line. He has the most service attempts.
Yes.
It's because this wicked hybrid that he serves, it's got so much movement.
It's also, he plays defense. He plays defense behind it.
Tight ball saved by Rosenthal, tipped at the net.
I rest by
and
case.
dumped at the net by Costi as he throws it down.
Assist, Trevor Clark on the dig.
Well, he's the pancake or the flapjack guy tonight. He's getting a lot of pancakes.
Stretch that 6'11" body with long arms out to pick that ball up and make a perfect pass.
Clark back to serve again. Irvine up 2-1. Floats it to Roar. Low pass. Roar cross court off the block. Dug by Kiriakou. Costi fires it out to Jokanovic. Dug by Greenidge. Back set to Trisky inside. He sets it over. Stepping in, Goss outside Jokanovic. Jokanovic off the block and out of play. Point Irvine, 3 serving to 1.
Yeah, the Hawaii guys, that's the other thing. Jokanovic has kind of got some of those Hawaii players a little rattled with his antics after he makes a good play.
Clark, good serve. Roar on the pass. Rosenthal back to Trisky. Trisky sizzles it in the seam between Goss and Jokanovic.
He's got to get out there and take that line.
Jordan going back to serve for Hawaii. Jordan having a phenomenal night. 8 kills, 0 errors, hitting a scorching 800. Floats it cross court to Jokanovic. Perfect pass. Costi back to Jokanovic. Jokanovic hits it into the net. We're all tied at threes. For Jokanovic, that's only second attack here.
Yeah. He had a lot of court to hit to, but it didn't have to be that.
Jordan, slow approach on the hybrid, down the line over towards Aitken. Kossi fires to Goss, and Goss pulls the trigger.
Again, I like that. They're running that gap, and it's just hard to get in front of it.
Calm, cool, and collected is Micah Goss. He's got a little aura to him tonight, like he's got this confidence in the middle back. 4 serving at 3. Kossi over towards Rohr. Rosenthal back to Rohr on the give and go. Dug by Jokanovic in area 4. Kossi back set, but free ball by Kiriakou. Tetrisky steps in. Rosenthal on the quick, and Jokanovic denies Todd in the middle. 1-on-1 and getting it done. And Jokanovic gets a yellow card for the celebration after the block.
I think it's okay if he puts his arms out. When he looks under the net at the other team, that's what they don't like.
That makes it 5 serving to 3. And
Hawaii's been complaining about that ever since the second set.
So 5-3, Irvine with a 2-point lead. Kossi going back to the service line for the Anteaters. Kossi winds up, a little off-speed pass by Greenidge, tight. Rosenthal tries to wipe it off the block. Jokanovic, he drops his hands, goes out of play. 6-3, Irvine.
Jokanovic saw it coming, got his hands out of the way. Or maybe Rosenthal just missed him, but that was a heads-up play.
Kossi, cross court, misses just long. Niffen confirms it's about a foot long. He's like, don't challenge, I saw it. So just get back and serve receive.
Niffen is quite animated tonight, you know. He's usually not so animated.
It's because he doesn't have his clipboard. He's not paper statting like he normally does.
Somebody's got to be doing stats around here.
Todd over toward Jokanovic. Kossi, high ball to Darcy. Darcy through the block. Sakanoko on the dig, running down. Rosenthal free ball. Picked up by Kiriakou. Kossi in the middle. Goss, and Goss going thumb down on the pound.
Goss just beat him. Goss got up so quick, and that arm was so quick, he beat him.
OMG, on a roll since the second set, because he started out kind of cold, but since then, 9 kills, hitting .429. Great serve by Jokanovic, passed off the net. Back set, Tetrisky tries to wipe it off block, recycles it, covered by Todd. Rosenthal back over to Rohr, sets it through the block, dug by Aitken. Kossi gets underneath it, shoots set over towards Kiriakou, but he goes under the net. Little contact with Rohr, but the set was tight, so.
Yeah, that set needed to be better. He had the ball, or go back with it. Everybody's over here, the play's scrambling. Look, he's gone back. No block at all over there.
Actually, it's called a net, but it definitely was a tight set.
Yeah, but it was a net on Kiriakou.
Darcy tips it through, dug by Rosenthal. Rohr sets it left side. Sakanoko trap set. Net violation by Darcy at the net. And he claims it. And he and Sakanoko are drawing. He's like,
he goes, I netted.
That's okay.
That's a big deal. Sakanoko was surprised. Well, what do you mean you agree?
You mean you called your own net?
Yeah. Who does that?
6-7, Rohr on the serve. Jokanovic in the middle. Goss off the block. And again, Goss has got the hot hand for Irvine.
That's 9 kills with three airs out of 15.
8 serving to 6 as Goss goes back to the service line for UCI. Goss stands at 6-6, and again, he started set number 1, not really finding his groove, but since he's been really good. Tough serve, picked up by Greenidge, back set to Tetrisky on the jump and thump. 7-8, like there was no block to be had.
Well, I think that would be the strategy, to go after Kiriakou blocking-wise.
I'm always for the little guy. That's why I like Greenidge, too.
I know you are. He's good. He may be the most mobile libero I've seen. He leads the conference in digs.
Followed by
Shane Aiken and Kiriakou.
High pass by Jokanovic. Aitken jumps at the right side. Darcy dug by Rohr. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky goes wide, out of play. Point going to Irvine. He's trying to tool Kiriakou. He telegraphed that.
Does he know Kiriakou's too small?
Kiriakou hadn't cleared the net yet.
No, the block was set perfectly by Kiriakou, and he tried to hit off the hand and missed it. Shane had his foot on the line, knew exactly what was in and what was out.
Hybrid. Greenwich passes off the net. Rohr sets Tetrisky right side, and he sneaks it by with an off-speed shot through the seam. 8 looking at 9. Tetrisky at the service line for Hawaii. Tetrisky didn't even change the pace of that thing, but wow.
Now found the seam between the two of them.
Fast and faster. Tetrisky jump serves into the UCI women's volleyball team.
When you've got a 6'11 blocker blocking next to a 6'2 blocker, it's hard to really get the unity you need as far as closing that block.
10 serving 8, and in Kiriakou going back to serve for Irvine. He's got 6 kills, hitting .214. 7 digs, off speed, picked up by Rohr. Sakanoko on the swing, goes through the block, dug by Aitken. Kiriakou, one-hand save. Jokanovic stopped pursuit. Coach Niffen was in his path.
I think he was afraid he was going to hit me.
Yeah.
The ball was coming right at me.
Well, there's a reason why he has that face guard on, so I could understand his apprehension and wanting to go into the scorer's table. Yeah. Hybrid, Aitken. And Kossi dumps, goes off the block.
That's not going to work.
Sakanoko to Rohr. Rohr swings off the block, dug by Darcy. Kossi in the middle to Clark. Clark off the block, dug by Tetrisky. Rosenthal in the middle, and looks like Jordan drops in the corner off the quick attack from Rosenthal, who held the blocker.
I wonder if Kossi, that ball's dug pretty high. Does he have time to look at the block?
10 serving to 10. I would tell you, but I was screened by another player. I was guessing who actually hit the ball.
Yeah.
Sakanoko misses about 2 feet long. Point going to Irvine, 11 serving to 10. Trevor Clark back to the service line for the Anteaters. Clark, 5 kills, hitting .375. Hits that hybrid down the line to Greenwich. Rosenthal in the middle to Jordan, and an easy ball. All the Anteaters yelled Hugo.
The Hugo play. That's an easy ball. That ball needs to be picked up.
11-11 as you look at our replay. 3 Anteaters right there within a step and a half of that ball.
I hate to say it, but Andon needs to probably run that thing down.
Float, pass by Aitken, Kossi, outside Jokanovic. He's denied, and Rosenthal lets him know it. 12-11, and the
now,
R2.
Rosenthal said he was looking at the score.
He's reading the Chronic Taco sign, the ribbon across the top of the net.
Yeah, of course.
12 serving 11.
If you're going to talk about one team talking too much, you better take note.
Kossi on the shoot to Goss. He pokes it through, and Jordan just not long enough to get his back flipper underneath it.
I'll tell you what, our 6'10 guy plays pretty good back left defense.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how good Grand Canyon would have been with all the players that ended up transferring out.
Unbelievable. But remember that year they were so good, they were all
Camden Gianni, Christian Janke.
5th years.
Nick Slight. Rohr goes off the block, picked up by Kiriakou off the trash. Kossi, Jokanovic, he tips through the block and delivers, and Rosenthal goes down. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but he's hobbling around.
I think he might have been knee to knee.
It wasn't an ankle. The Charlie horse through the net. Let's see the replay here. Jokanovic. Oh, yeah, that was a knee up. Oh, the Charlie horse.
Yeah. Might have been.
And that was in the air.
Patella to patella.
Yeah, the display of sportsmanship. Jokanovic goes over to Rosenthal. They give each other 5s.
Yep. 2 plays ago, they were screaming at each other in the net.
Kossi on the serve, goes down the line. Good pass by Rohr. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. No block. Wait! But somehow Jokanovic got up there late and rejected it. I thought there was no way he's going to get to the pin.
Well, that was a nice blocking move. But Jokanovic turned didn't stay looking under the net, turned to his teammates, and that's a good play. That's what's supposed to be done.
Cossey goes hard. Overpass coming. Darcy tips down, covered by Greenidge. Sakanoka steps in the set to Tetrisky out of the back row. And he hits it wide. Point going to Irvine. 15 serving 12. And that brings us to our media timeout as Irvine leads 15-12 here in set number 4. And also the match, 2 sets of 1. Don't go away. More Big West Volleyball coming your way here from the Brent Event Center.
Amazing.
1-0 and leading the second set. I believe it's 16-14 when I last checked. Costi off speed, pass by Sakanoka. Rosenthal out to Roar. Roar denied, covered by Greenidge. Rosenthal outside to Roar, goes off block. One hand dig by Aitken, goes up and out of play. Aitken is getting so many touches tonight.
Yeah, that hit by Roar was a smart, high, flat, deep, and it caught Shane too high. Shane was in for the ball that was straight down.
Trent Rosenthal going back to serve for Hawaii. Rosenthal with 36 assists on the night, 4 digs. Cross court over towards Aitken. Costi fires back to Jokanovic, goes down the line, off speed on the winner.
Changing tempos, continually changing tempo.
Reminds you of a Hilaire Heno, maybe?
Hilaire Heno's
Hilaire Heno hardware is now turning into
more shots.
Andre Jokanovic hardware.
Rob, don't try too hard.
Jokanovic goes into the net. Point going to Hawaii. 14 serving to 16. As Adrian Roar hits the service line for the Bows. Roar with 7 kills, but 6 attackers hitting 0-36, and now a service error that goes long. 17-14 Irvine.
So he's gone for being 6 for 6 first
First
set.
6 kills, 0 errors on 6 attempts.
Yeah, and now he's hitting 0-34.
And that brings Goss back to the service line for UC Irvine. Goss, 11 kills now, hitting 500. He's also got 5 block assists and a solo. Greenidge, tight pass. Rosenthal to Todd, and Todd hammers it thumb down. Todd came in hot on that cutback.
Yeah, turned it. Trevor, I think, has got to get bigger on the block. He's jumping high, but he's not. Those hands aren't spread apart far enough.
Well, he's got quite the wingspan.
Yeah, but he's going. It's all up and down. There's nothing horizontal on it.
Kearney checks in for serving. Goes to Jokanovic. Bad pass. Broken play. Saved by Kiriakou. Darcy takes a rip anyways. Dug by Roar. Rosenthal gets underneath it out to Sakanoka. Sakanoka recycles. Set by Roar. Picked up Rosenthal. Back to Tetrisky. He goes cross court. Dug by Cossey. Set by Jokanovic. Darcy hits high off the hands. Dug by Rosenthal. Roar looks left side. Sakanoka. Sakanoka going for hands. Dug by Aitken. Picked by Kiriakou. Trap set at the net. Oh, and looks like Darcy goes down through the net, and the Bows, 2 of them helping him up, Sakanoka and Jordan, and they're checking in on Darcy because it looked like his ankle may have turned a little bit there.
That set was so tight.
16-17, and that's a lot of man falling on the Hawaii side. They got to wipe the sweat on 1/3 of the court. And Darcy saying he's good. It's the first thing he says to Coach Niffen as they check in on him, but he's also going towards his knee where he has that sleeve. And everyone checked in. That's the thing about these 2 teams. Such great respect. Yeah, there's some jabbering, but I don't know. Last week,
you knew it when you put 3 Frenchmen on the court. There was going to be some jabbering.
Yeah, look, jabbering is an international language, Charlie.
Yeah.
Back set to Darcy. Darcy hits it off the block and out of play. And he looks to the crowd and clenches a fist towards the air. 18-16. Todd checks back in for Kearney.
That took some guts on Darcy's part.
Darcy, the stash-clad Aussie, having a good night here for UC Irvine. 11 kills, 1 error, hitting .379. Make that 12 kills, 1 error. Goes high ball over towards Roar. Rosenthal to Sakanoka. And look at that 4-4 fireball towards number 4, Andon Kiriakou.
As I said earlier, the off blockers need to be ready to play some defense. because they're going to find him.
That was just pugilistic.
Yep. Hard hit ball.
I wish there's a microphone on the court. Jokanovic over towards Kiriakou, and he hits it wide. Rosenthal gave him a wide open line, and he over-rotated, and we're tied at 18. Timeout, UC Irvine, as we are all knotted up in a very important fourth set for Hawaii. Can they grab it and force a fifth set tiebreak?
Let's see. It's going to be some kind of a momentum builder, one way or the other for either team. Let's see what that'll be, whether it's missed serves or missed plays that they should make and they don't score on. Irvine has more kills than Hawaii and is hitting for a higher percentage and also out blocking them. But Hawaii is out digging Irvine.
Yep, they are doing a phenomenal job, but offensively, Hawaii hitting 293, which is well below their season average. Irvine is hitting 351, which is right around their average.
Yes. Yes.
So take a look at our box scores here. Leading the way for Hawaii, Christian Tetrisky, who's been quiet here, 13 kills, hitting 289, but also you got Luis Sakanoko, 13 kills, hitting 400, but they haven't really been giving him the ball as much, it seems like.
Yeah, he seems to be, when he does get it, he's putting the ball away.
18-18 as we take a peek right there at Luis Sakanoko, our player to watch tonight. He's been on fire since the UCLA loss.
Yeah, he's been really playing well, and nothing's changed tonight. He's that added bick that he hits radically out of the back row, either to the left corner or the right corner.
Well, he's the serious applicator of molten tattoos to defenders on the back line.
Well, and Kiriakou could attest to that.
And Kiriakou going right to him on the replay here on the screen.
Well, they're in row 4, which has been a tough rotation for Irvine. You got to make sure you use Darcy on the right here.
Tetrisky on the serve, pass by Jokanovic. Back set to Darcy. Darcy block covered by someone on the Indian side. Kossi takes a rip. And the ball's hit wide. Point Hawaii as they regain lead at 19-18. We got screened. My view got screened, so I was blind calling on that one.
Kossi, is he the setter or is he the hitter?
Well, he's a pretty good all-around from what you've told me, Charlie.
Yeah, well, I think he's a better.
Roll shot, serve into the net by Tetrisky. Scores tied at 19s. That brings Andon Kiriakou back to serve for Irvine. Kiriakou, 6 kills, hitting 125. He's got a couple assists, 8 digs, and 2 block assists. Great serve, pass by Sakanoko, pushed out to Sakanoko, goes off speed, dug by Aitken, set by Kossi. Jokanovic tips left hand, covered by Aitken, bumped it by Kiriakou. Jokanovic off the block, dug by Sakanoko. Rosenthal back to Sakanoko, tips it off the block, covered, and swinging away is Jokanovic, and looks like the ball hit the antenna, but everyone played on. It goes off an anteater in the antenna, but they kept playing. Sakanoko goes back to serve, 2019.
John Hawks texts me and lets me know the list of outstanding outside hitters we have in the nation. And he's right on.
John Hawks knows everything, Charlie.
He does know a lot.
Jokanovic, bomb by Luis Sakanoko serve. Jokanovic off speed, dug back to Tetrisky. Set in the middle to Jordan, dug by Kiriakou. Bumps it by Kossi. Jokanovic swings off the block, and he's denied by Jordan and Rosenthal. 2-point lead now for the Bows. And Coach David Niffen takes a second time out, now trailing here in the fourth set.
That might be the momentum shift right there.
Well, that was a very timely block, and the biggest lead Hawaii's had since early on in this set here. As we take a look at Travell Jordan, the transfer from the now defunct Grand Canyon program, flourishing in the Hawaii program. Solid athlete in the middle, and
yes,
being watched by a lot of coaches on the national teams.
Well, and he has an upside, a huge upside. Huge upside.
We are looking at a text from CMAC.
Yeah. He wants Rob's bimbo.
He's going to match your donation to me, apparently.
I guess so. Grayson DeVoe is also a nice text.
Such great people in the volleyball world. Love hearing from you.
Yep.
You know what's amazing is that Big West tournament here. You have 3 solid days of volleyball. Now on the teams, it's going to be a slugfest, back to back days potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're 3rd through 6th and you're playing well, you're going to play 3 straight games. Well, hard, tough matches.
On teams that could easily steal it from you.
Yep.
Luis Sakanoko, after that bomb serve over towards Jokanovic, goes back to the service line, up by a pair. Must-win set for the Bows. High toss, takes a rip, goes off speed, pass like Kiriakou. Kasi to Jokanovic, inside set, goes cross court and pops a cap in the corner. Somehow uses every inch of the court.
Deep line shot to the deepest part of the court. He had the ball off the net, had 3 blockers in front of him, and he just hit it right into the seam between the diggers.
Trevor Clark now serving for UC Irvine. Clark, hybrid down the line, drops, Roar on the hand pass, back to Tetrisky. Tetrisky off the block, dug by Kiriakou, stepping into sets Kasi, over towards Jokanovic. He looks, shoots off the block, recycled. Clark, Kasi to Goss, and Jordan denies by putting up the 10 fingers of death. 22 serving to 20.
Again, you got Costi front row, the ball over here in area 4, and he wants to run that quick. I'm not sure that's the shot you want.
Kainoa Wade checking in for serving purposes, has been lethal from the service line. Another good serve picked up by Aitken. Kasi fires out to Jokanovic, roll shot, and it hits the floor, but no one blows the whistle. 21 looking at 22 as Jordan checks back in for Wade, and dodging a bullet are the Anteaters after the Kainoa Wade serving.
Yeah, huge. That's a smart shot, though.
The other son back to serve, Cameron Costi. Down the line, Sakanoko passes off the net back to Tetrisky. No block, and a net violation on Irvine, 23-21. Rosenthal at the service line for the Bows. Jokanovic with 41 assists. He's got 7 kills of his own tonight.
Who?
Rosenthal is an outside hitter.
He can do it all.
Good serve, picked up by Aitken. Kasi outside, Darcy tips off the block and out of play. Tooling to Trisky and Todd. 22 looking at 23.
Again, we've got the ball over here in area 4, and it's not going, could be going the other direction, I think.
Jokanovic, a 6'8" freshman outside, serving for Irvine. Serves it over towards Roar. Rosenthal in the middle. Todd plays pinball off of Goss and goes out of play. And we've got a Hawaii set point to 24. And Roar back to serve. A lot of Hawaii fans on their feet in the house. A lot of nervous energy in green right here as Roar, high toss, goes off the cable. Kiriakou, Kasi, Goss off the block. 23 serving to set point number 2. This is a huge play for Irvine as Goss goes back to serve.
Depending on where the serve is, we may end up seeing a back set to Tetrisky with Andon blocking on the left.
Goss standing at 6'6". Good serve, picked by Roar, set in the middle of Todd, and Todd delivers, and we are going 5 in the Brand. That's a shocker in the Big West. A 5-set match in the Big West.
That's a shocker for Irvine again.
So with that, we are going 5 as team captains meet at center court. That's Rosenthal and Kiriakou. Don't go away. We've got set number 5 action coming your way here on ESPN+. Can you say toss-up?
Yeah. How about even serve? service aces versus airs. 3 and 14 for Irvine, 4 and 15 for Hawaii.
Kiriakou starts off a serve for Irvine, and here we go. Roar, perfect pass. Rosenthal to Sakanoko. Sakanoko through the block, dug by Kiriakou. Darcy bumps it. Free ball by Jokanovic. Greenwich steps in on the pass. Set outside. Sakanoko, dug by Aitken. Goes over to Tetrisky. Rosenthal in the middle to Jordan. Dug by Aitken, but it goes the wrong direction. All that for point number 1.
It's a good, nice hit by Jordan. Ball was a little low, and he just hit it high into the court and caught Shane high up above his shoulder.
Luis Sakanoko back to serve for Hawaii. 14 kills, hitting .379. He's got an ace to his name tonight. Off speed, pass by Jokanovic. Kossi, Jokanovic denied by Rosenthal. Rosenthal put up both paws and shut it down.
Not sure. Costi he knows where the ball is going. He needs to cover at the 45 on that. And he set the ball outside, he just stands.
Sakanoko back to serve again for the Bows. Sakanoko, a really high toss, goes deep, misses long, point going to Irvine. They may have a challenger. They got him to burn, but Coach Charlie Wade says, nah. Waves it off. That was close, though.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, they say, right?
Clark floats it down the line. Roar on the hand pass. Dump up top, dug by Darcy. Kossi out to Jokanovic. Tips through the block, dug by Greenidge. Set by Rosenthal. Tipped by Roar, and it's out of the reach of any Irvine defender. 3 serving to 1. Jordan back to serve as we see the replay on screen. Look at Greenidge getting horizontal and making the uni dirty.
His mobility on the court is off the charts.
Float, hand pass, Jokanovic, Kosti, Goss, tip, dug by Tetrisky. Center line violation called against Goss. 4 serving 1, and we got a timeout taken by Coach David Nippon. Irvine with a 3-point deficit here in set number 5. Look at that full, both feet over by Goss on the follow through, but there's a tight pass, which led to a tight set.
Yep. Yeah, that ball was probably more over than it was on their side.
Looking at the Irvine bench as they try and sort through this deficit in the 5th set. We've got a lively crowd in-house tonight. Hawaii always travels well and such a great volleyball crowd, and nothing but mad respect for our Hawaii volleyball fans.
And then you've got to love the Irvine crowd. I mean, we've got a lot of students up there and a lot of just volleyball enthusiasts here to watch.
A lot of people in the volleyball community here tonight and watching online, as you see by the messages we're receiving.
Yep.
Real time here, trying to watch a lot of volleyball.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say that it's tied 27-27 in San Diego.
Whoa. San Diego team is tough, especially in San Diego, as we both know.
And we've got Jordan serving up 4-1 on some anteater miscues here in the 5th set. And I believe we are still waiting for the end of the time to expire here as we are waiting for the serve to come out from Jordan.
Hawaii's hitting percentage now has passed Irvine. They're hitting .320 now to Irvine's .304.
Float serve over to Jokanovic. Kossi. Jokanovic one-on-one. Tips over the block. Tetrisky on the back flipper. Outside to Roar. Roar drills it over the block, and it's 5-1 Hawaii. Great dig and effort by Tetrisky right there on that back flipper save.
That was right over Costi, wasn't it?
Jordan floats over towards Jokanovic. Broken play. Aitken, high ball. Jokanovic through the block. Tetrisky again on the back flip save, but they're calling it dead. And Tetrisky grabbing both his knees. I don't know if he landed funny and hurt himself or he's just in cannonball position because out of frustration.
It might have landed on his knees when he went for that pancake. He screamed as soon as he hit the floor.
It looks like we're waiting for a wipe. That stops a 5-0 run A 4-0 run by Hawaii. As Cameron Cossey awaits service, waiting for the court crew to wipe up the sweat from Christian Tetrisky on the valiant effort on what would have been a double back flipper save because he had one on the previous play. Cossey, cross court, Greenwich, perfect pass. Rosenthal to Todd, and Todd on the shoot set winner. Or was that a float pattern? I think he came middle and floated out towards the bin.
Exactly.
Oh no, it was a shoot. He came straight in. So with that 6-2 Hawaii, Rosenthal on serve. Darcy over the block and gets it through to Tetrisky. Point going to Irvine, 3 serving 6 as Jokanovic goes to the service line. This is a rotation to watch. Kiriakou rotates to the front row. He's to be going up against Tetrisky. Actually going to keep Rohr hitting right side, Tetrisky at the left.
Yeah. Rohr hits more cross court from there. Tetrisky really hits the line, which is hard.
Rohr, perfect pass. Back to Rohr, backside, off the top of the block. One hand dig by Jokanovic, high ball. Stutter step by Kiriakou, high line over towards Rosenthal. Sakanoko right side. Rohr, joust as Rohr goes under net, no call. Darcy swings, dug by Rosenthal. Sakanoko sets right side. Rohr swings for the sky, dug by Jokanovic. High ball out to.
Ow.
And Kiriakou uses and abuses Rohr on the wipe.
That set was scary. That was a sprained ankle set.
4 serving to 6, and Kiriakou just looking for targets up top.
Yeah, he found it.
Jokanovic back to serve again for the Anteaters, pulling within 2. Jokanovic goes down the line, make that an ace. The freshman with ice water in his veins.
2 Frenchmen are glaring at each other under the net.
That's ace number 2 of the night for Jokanovic, 28th of the season.
Louis took a look at Jokanovic, who was pointing at him under the net.
Jokanovic again. Cross court, goes the wrong direction, saved by Sakanoko. Free ball, tipped by the block, dug by Aitken, set by Goss. Kiriakou looking for hands, high line tip, dug by Rosenthal. Sakanoko right side, stutter step, Tetrisky swing, dug by Costi. Jokanovic calls for it. Right side, Darcy swings off the block, dug by Sakanoko. Rosenthal looks, high ball left side to Rohr. Rohr sneaks it by the block of Irvine to stop the 4-point run on the Anteater side.
That's too bad. That ball was blockable. You need to score when Rohr was in the front row.
And with that, Rohr goes back to serve. After some clutch defensive play on both sides, Rohr on the night, 9 kills, only hitting .091. Costi back, Darcy off his head on the block by Sakanoko. And it goes out of play, 8-5 on the turn. As coaches give each other knuckles as they cross the net. There is some serious battling going on the court.
Yeah, nice matchup, I'll tell you, from a fan standpoint.
Sakanoko lined up in Darcy's angle.
Yep. Really, if you hit the ball that down, it comes back that fast. There's not much anybody can do. When they're hitting balls cross court that are coming high off the block, that should be an automatic coverage.
Well, you got Sakanoko, whose armpits are above the net.
Yeah.
Against a 6'10 Darcy.
Yep.
Rohr, top spinner, over toward Jokanovic. Costi to Jokanovic, off the chicken wing dig of Rosenthal, goes over, Aitken handball, and shoving it through is Kiriakou. 6'8". Kiriakou using everything tonight and the kitchen sink.
Once they get in system and get the ball, they run their attack. That was a very, very fast set to the outside, allowing Kiriakou just to push the ball to the opening. Very easy shot.
6 looking at 8. Micah Goss at the service line for UC Irvine. Goss cross court, Greenwich, perfect pass. Rosenthal to Tetrisky. Tetrisky sending fire in the hole. And Charlie Wade throws a punch in the air in excitement. 9-6 Hawaii.
Petrisky did a nice job. He went in like he's hitting line and then jumped out to the line. No blocker up, which allowed him that cross-court shot. There's nobody there.
And that brings Finn Kearney in for Justin Todd for serving purposes. Adds a little side spin to the toss. Kiriakou on the dime. Clark knocks it through the block of Jordan. 7 looking at 9. Todd comes right back on for Kearney as Darcy goes back to the service line. Telling you, dark horse player of the night on the Hawaii side is Quentin Greenwich.
He's very, very good.
Darcy down the line, Sakanoko, perfect pass in the middle to Jordan, and he hammers it on the shoot set.
They know if that pass is at the net, they know run the middle. Irvine has real trouble, and they always seem to be blocking one-on-one, stopping that quick set.
10 serving to 7. Tetrisky at the service line for the Bows. And he misses wide, put some side spin on it, and took a little off of it. 8-10 with Kiriakou at the service line for Irvine. Kiriakou, 8 kills, hitting 200s, got double-digit digs with 11, leading the Anteaters. Hybrid float, misses just long. Is Niff going to challenge it? And he's going to challenge it, I had a feeling. There was a chance, but there was blue between the ball and the line. So
the ball was out.
So let's see
well,
on the
you never
replay.
know. We don't.
Yeah. Believe me, we've been wrong. Yeah, it's a couple inches long.
Looks
probably,
like it.
But it's a timeout, technically, is what he's doing.
Right.
So it's 11-8. We're going to guess the plays in the stand is called.
Yeah, well.
And it's giving Luis Sakanoko some time to think about his serve.
Well, Louis also did that fake like I'm taking it overhand, and then duck out of the way like a mockery. And so only would be justice if it were in. So.
And Matt Laveau, the R2, confirms the call. So Niff down to 1 challenge.
Yep.
11 serving 8. Sakanoko has been waiting at the service line during that entire pause in play.
It's always interesting when there's a pause in play and the next server has to decide whether he wants to go to the huddle or get off by himself.
Some quiet time to think about the serve.
Yeah. Or some huddle time to not think about the serve.
Sakanoko, 14 kills, hitting 379. Real high toss and goes into the net. He let himself too far on that one. He's a great jumper, got a great swing, but that was a good 10, 15 feet into the court. And that brings Trevor Clark to the service line for Irvine. Clark floats it to Roar, tight pass. And denied at the net, but dug up and over, picked up by Clark again. Kosti outside Jokanovic, line shot winner. And Irvine knocking off the door at 10, serving 11. There's a block at the net, ricocheted off a Hawaii player, went back over, Irvine ran the play.
Block was great.
And we got a timeout taken by Hawaii as the coaching staff of Donan Cruz, Kupono Faye, and Charlie Wade are hanging courtside, as you can see in your upper right-hand corner, letting the team sort it out for themselves here because they've done this before. This is practice. It's just executing at this point.
I think the three of them are maybe saying, here's a play we need to make at a crucial time. This is opener. This would work because we've done this before. All doing something different now will work.
Well, what has been working for them has been that shoot to Jordan.
Oh, anything to
in the
Jordan.
middle.
Anything to Jordan has been working. And don't forget,
and then
same with JT. Justin Todd.
I could see him throwing a little curveball in there and setting a bick to Roar or Sakanoko.
Well, you got Sakanoko in the back row, and he likes the bick. Remember, he's peppered Will Darcy a few times at back right.
Got to give one more shout out. Tim O'Brien of the MIVA watching tonight. A little late for our viewers in the Midwest and the East Coast. Appreciate you guys tapping into our ESPN Plus feed as Trevor Clark goes back to the service line, trailing 1, 10 looking at 11. What do we have coming up here in our 5-set thriller? Clark floats it. Greenidge, tight pass. Rosenthal outside. Roar tips it over the block. Dug by Darcy. Kossi. Jokanovic goes wrist away on the winner, and we're tied at 11s. That was like a 1/4 speed swing.
Well, the ball was set inside. The block's running to the outside because I think that's where it's going. And then he just saw the open court and turned it right inside.
Greenidge. Rosenthal, Tetrisky off the block, and we got a back row attacker violation on Tetrisky. Irvine now on a 5-0 run. 12 serving, 11 timeout Hawaii. I wonder, I mean, I didn't see it, but we need a side view to get that, but it looked clean for me, and we're standing courtside, but I mean.
Yeah, we're looking right down the line.
But who called it though? Was it was
Tom.
R2?
No, R1.
So call me crazy, but it looked okay. But Irvine would have picked it up and ran a play in transition.
Right. They had the ball to score.
And if he did clear that line, it had to be micrometers.
Yep.
And Tom's wearing glasses. I just don't know. All great officials here. That's why we love our officials.
Just look at the four of them. All very, very good officials.
That's Heather Pickett and Mai Tafunga on the lines. Tom Ulibarri, the R1, and Matt Laveau, our R2, as we look at our current box scores. Hawaii hitting 319, Irvine hitting 309, blocking 9.5 Hawaii, 8 for UCI, 45 digs apiece. It could not be more even than this, Charlie.
Yep. It was
64 kills apiece.
Yep.
This is like a Ali Frazier boxing match here. Trevor Clark
Good.
and Irvine on a 5-0 run, now up 12-11.
Great attention to detail needs to be taken.
Oh, we were waiting for the horn. I thought just were
We
waiting
were
for someone
actually
to
waiting for Mai Tafuga to walk over here slowly, taking his time.
Clark hits a hybrid, grazes the net, saved by Sakanoko to Roar. Roar swing high, hard, and long, and a touch is called by our lines official. Kossi's saying no. Goss is saying no. Kiriaku's saying no. All three eaters. So we got a challenge at the net as we watch the replay.
Again, that's
There it is.
Mai
Let's see.
Tafuga made the call. There's
And
no
it's
touch.
long. There's no touch.
Yeah.
There's zero touch on the middle. Would have been that outside blocker of Jokanovic.
Yep.
So it's too high above the block as Matt Laveau goes to the sideline. But we need an end line view. We're not going to get it on this one here.
See, there's a seam in the block.
So yeah,
That's right where the ball went, right through it.
right through the seam and high. So I'd be interested to see what they come up with. There's no touch.
No touch.
And there's a
ball
it is
is
through the
long.
seam.
Yeah.
So do we have an end line view available for us to look at? I know that's on that side where the camera is. Here we go.
See
Slow
the
it
hole?
down.
See the hole?
No touch.
No touch.
In fact, Goss has got not textbook hands. His fingers weren't
are
spread.
closed and his eyes are closed too.
So that's what you don't do as a middle blocker. And he didn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
So that was at least an inch above the block.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let us see. But Matt Laveau is taking a long time to look at it. And I was actually talking to the replay coordinator, operator tonight, and he said that, hey, call on the broadcast, the end line view for me to play, to have available to me. And that's how they can play it for the referees.
Perfect.
Let's see what the call is. And no touch on the play. So it's overruled. Unsuccessful challenge. Hawaii down to 2 challenges. Irvine up 13-11. To watch a replay again, it would have been Micah Goss, but again, not the textbook blocking habits you want as a middle blocker.
No. And now this is really important for Irvine to stay focused. They've got this momentum. And Charlie obviously is going to take as much time as he can.
This is a chess play right here.
Absolutely.
And we got another challenge, a net violation against Irvine. So now a second challenge by Hawaii that Irvine was in the net.
That's a smart move by Charlie Wade. The chance of getting a net is very possible. You get so many nets are missed by the referees.
Let's see.
I don't see. No.
Well, they got to keep playing it all the way through. Keep playing it all the way through until everyone lands. Oh, they're clear.
They're clear.
All clear. So no net, no touch.
So now the focus by Trevor Clark as he goes back to serve becomes even more important.
Yes.
Because you don't want this tactic to work against you.
No, I mean, it's brilliant. You want to try and ice the server, and with the air conditioning blowing the way it is in here, I feel like we're in an Arctic free zone.
It is chilly here, that's for sure.
Hawaii now down to one challenge, unsuccessful on the last two. Irvine up 13-11 here in set number 5. As Trevor Clark has had a long wait with a timeout and 2 challenges. Clark floats to Sakanoko. It's off the net, saved by Rosenthal. Rohr swings down the line and delivers 12, serving to 13. And that brings Kainoa Wade, the lethal server from the end line for the Bows, in for for Travell Jordan this time.
This is a great time for him to be in.
Can he deliver from the service line? He's been known to do so.
Oh, no, he will.
And he packs a cannon of a swing.
Yeah. 6'10" body.
Big, low toss, though. Takes a little off it. Jokanovic, perfect pass. Jokanovic off the block and out of play, but they're calling a touch on Jokanovic. As the ball's blocked down, Hawaii's claiming that it was blocked into him. So we're going to have another challenge on the touch, but we're going to have to see on this play here what angle is going to work. Oh, it's a great angle. Let's see. Jokanovic goes off his head. I think goes off his head.
Oh, right
off his shoulder.
Yeah, right there as he hit the floor.
So it should be a successful challenge. Correction, play was correct as called.
Yeah.
So it'll be 13-all.
Yeah, it definitely took a reflection off.
So it went off the head, shoulder, out of play.
Yeah.
So 13-13, quick review by Matt Laveau. So it's 13-13, so that's a clutch block by Rosenthal and Todd.
Yeah.
With another serve coming for Kainoa Wade. There's some boo birds in the house, but I'm not quite sure why.
Oh, it did. On the replay they just showed there, it didn't touch.
But you saw the change of direction.
Yeah.
Costi. Jokanovic inside the block, dug by Rohr. Rosenthal off the block, and we have a reversal of fortune. Hawaii now serving for match point to 13, and we've got a timeout taken by UC Irvine. On a string of challenges. Great clutch dig by Rohr, but that swing by Rosenthal. And that's what you get when you have an offensive-minded setter who's, I think he's grown since our last broadcast. He's 7'2" now.
Yeah. He is a big, big guy. But you're matched up with Jokanovic.
Matt Laveau's coming here. He's wondering, our R2 coming up here on match point. They have a few other camera views that we don't have access to for the review. But we did see the touch. And Tom Ulibarri, our R1. These guys are known as the 5-set duo because whenever they're on a match, you're going to go 5. No, it's a great officiating, though, by both sides. And they've really kept control, highly respected in the game. So, and both
gave some warnings at the right time and tried to keep everything under control.
Both teams back on the court. Kainoa Wade back to serve for Hawaii. And everyone on their feet in the house in the Bren for match point Hawaii. Number 1 serving to 13. Wade at the service line. And everyone trying to distract him in the house that's not wearing green. Wade looking, taking a deep breath. He's taken off of his serve and misses long. We're tied at 14s. As Jordan checks back in for Wade, and Wade going for it. He had a little more pace on that one serve.
Yeah. It's the same serve, a little more cross court. It'd be in then.
Cossie to serve. Sakanoko, perfect pass. Rosenthal dumps it on two. You knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. And it's match point number 2 for Hawaii, serving a 14 with Rosenthal at the service line. This is where those trickler aces seem to haunt Irvine.
Yeah.
4 and 3 and 5 setters. Pass by Kiriakou. Kossi to Jokanovic. Jokanovic roll shot dug by Sakanoko. Rosenthal back to Tetrisky. Trap set dug by Greenidge. Aitken back to Jokanovic. Jokanovic off the chicken wing of Rosenthal. Barbecue sauce and all.
I don't know why Rosenthal was in so far. Way better to stay deeper in the perimeter and then move into the ball as it's being hit. But he's all inside. 15 all. Here we go.
Jokanovic back to the service line for Irvine. Jokanovic to Greenidge. Pass. Rosenthal to Trisky. Uncontested at the net. Or at least so it seems like it. Both blockers gave him an alley down the line.
Yeah.
And it's match point number 3 for Hawaii, serving to 15. Adrian Rohr back to serve. Started off with an ace earlier in the night. Aitken passes off net. Kiriakou to Kiriakou. Picked up by Tetrisky. Back to Tetrisky. Tips blocked by Kiriakou. Rohr looks at Sakanoko. Sakanoko high ball swings off the block. Picked up by Sakanoko. Kossi tipped over the block. Greenidge set by Rosenthal. Tetrisky swings down the line, dug by Aitken. Kossi outside. Kiriakou goes down the line on the dunk, and we're tied at 16s. Gonna have a heart attack here.
I'm not sure why he didn't back set to Darcy. I'm not sure. I love the play by Andon, but I think he could have gone somewhere else.
And there's a lot of sweat on the floor in Hawaii's. Trent Rosenthal looking a little winded after that play. I don't know if that was an injury or if he's tired from the extended rally, but he's lost a little pop in his step there, and he's talking to the trainer courtside.
Well, now that it's 16-all, you got Trzynski tying his shoe again. Rosenthal on the sideline like he's hurt. Another good stall tactique going on here.
And Tommy Labare recognizes the tactic and whistles him on.
Yeah.
So we've got Micah Goss back to serve for Irvine. Goss has really picked it up since the first set. 12 kills, hitting 400.
They're talking about the blocking assignment over there. Where do you move Andon the block? Do you leave him over there with Trzynski, or do you move him over here and put Darcy over there?
Goss goes into the net. Point Hawaii. Match point number 4 for the Bows, serving to 16. And that brings Justin Todd, another lethal server, back to serve.
Good serve. He hasn't served. Remember they used kind of a wait for him, Finney for him earlier.
Yeah, Finn Kearney for Todd. The former outside hitter goes down the line. Jokanovic tight, goes to Clark. And the ball's hit wide for a point. Set and match going to Hawaii as they steal the 5th set, 18-16, and win our match. 3 sets to 2, 25-22, 19-25, 23-25, 25-23, 18-16, and yet another Big West Classic. Charlie, your thoughts on our Big West brawl tonight?
Well, this is indicative of a 1 versus 2 match. Both teams play with great heart, great defense. ups and downs both ways, but they were able to get it right at the end. Either team wins that match the way it was going.
Well, it's a fantastic effort on both sides of the net. And as you see, Hawaii led tonight by Christian Tetrisky. 16 kills, hitting .250, 2 aces, 8 digs, and a block assist totaling 18 and a half points. But you got to give a shout out, and they normally don't, middle blocker Travell Jordan, 12 kills, 0 errors, 750.
Yeah.
3 block assists and a solo, 14 and a half points. And let's throw in Louis Sakanoko.